Welcome to the Stade de France for the star-studded super final of the Trophy Andros, celebrating its 30th birthday with Sébastien Ogier, Sébastien Loeb, Formula One new boy Esteban Ocon, and a host of stars, old and new, from the Trophy Andros' 30-year history. And on this purpose-built oval in the heart of the capital of France, where the French football team claims their World Cup final victory, once more, for the 8th time, Trophy Andros returns. 400 metres of gladiatorial arena for the bikes, for the electric cars, and for the petrol engine cars as well. Well, this oval gives great racing opportunities and a fantastic chance for the crowd to see everything from every seat in the stadium. But as ever, it's always a challenge to convert a football stadium into an ice arena with hours of labour and 700 tonnes of ice. The champions have all been already decided. Superbest, the last point-scoring weekend, saw Christophe Ferrier claim victory in the electric series ahead of Vincent Beltoise and Louis Gervasson. In the elite class, the year was dominated by a new boy, single-seater ace Dorian Boccolacci. He scooped the title with Louis Gervasson in second place and Margot Lafitte in third. In the elite pro class, it was a fourth title in a row for Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, Franck Lagorce and Aurélien Panis, joining him on the season's podium. And after a tremendously hard-fought season finale in the motorcycles, it was Maxime Emery who clinched the title, with Vivian Gornet pipped at the post and multiple champion Sylvain Dabert finishing in third. A great opportunity not just to see the cars in action, but to meet the stars as well. Men like Sébastien Loeb, the multiple World Rally champion. And stars of the past and the present as well. Reigning champions, men like Ari Vatanen, legends of the sport. François Chatriot, the champion in '95. And 6 times WRC champion Sébastien Ogier, here to show off his Citroën WRC machine. And a chance to applaud the champions of the past as well. Introduced by the stadium announcer François Chatriot. Marcel Tarez, the champion back in 2003. Ari Vatanen. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, our 4 times champion, and Esteban Ocon, who's hoping to come ice racing next winter. Sébastien Loeb, for the first time here as a competitor, and Sébastien Ogier, here for demonstration runs as well. Alain Prost, not just a Formula One champion, a 3-time ice racing champion as well. Legends of the sport, one and all, on ice and away from it. We'll start our action with electric versus petrol engine cars. Now, they've been racing against each other throughout the season, and in each of these semi-finals, one for all petrol cars, one for all electric, the winner goes through into the final, so we are guaranteed a petrol versus electric finale. So on the left-hand side, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, the new champion. On the right, perhaps one of the tigers of the season, Olivier Panis, 4th overall, 2nd best placed of the petrol engine cars. And that was despite having had to miss a full race weekend during the season. So whoever comes out on top in the semi goes through to represent their chosen fuel, if you like, or combustion, or lack of combustion. And at the first split in this pursuit layout, it's Olivier Panis who's ahead. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg wrestling the car around the second part of the lap. As he crosses the line, Panis again just a fraction in front. Let's see, it's 2 laps here, and it is the best of 2 to go through. So has Panis got enough of an advantage? It's still very tight. The checker flags are being prepared at either of the bridges. Next time they get to the line, it'll be the end of the 2 laps. And it looks as though Dubourg is going to be close. Who got that one? Very tight indeed. And Olivier Panis led all the way through, but the clocks are saying that Jean-Baptiste Dubourg won it by 9 thousandths of a second. And that means that Panis, now starting on the left-hand side, half a lap away from where he was before, must win this one to take it to a third and deciding run. So Olivier Panis, 4th in the point standings at the end of the year, behind son Aurélien. And at the moment, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, Panis looked as though he was just ahead on the far side. Is the Audi dealing with the ruts well? 1 to go. And that looked clearly like Panis was in front, so this could go the other way now. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg is going to have to fight back, the champion, to try and win this one and seal his way through. And now it's very much closer. Half a lap to go. Dubourg was right there. Panis fighting the car. Looks as though he's had contact with the wall, and he's behind, and Dubourg wins it 2-0 against Olivier Panis. Looks as though Panis got caught out in the ruts. And Jean-Baptiste Dubourg goes through into the final. So he will represent internal combustion engines, who is going to be his electric rival. It looks as though Olivier Panis' car might actually have slightly more problems. But Jean-Baptiste Dubourg kept the car clean and in one piece and goes through into the final. He looks happy with that, rightly so. You can see how rutted the track is. This ice frozen, not the work of a moment in the capital city. So, onto the electric cars, as ever, in the green Trophy Andros colours, Franck Lagorce and Nico Prost, multiple electric racing champion. Lagorce, though, has been a real contender all season long. The longer the season went on, the more efficient he and his car have become. Absolute front runners. Again, you can see the four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer on the car. Lagorce out very wide indeed, but he's comfortably in front at the end of the first lap for each of the drivers on board with Nico Prost. Bouncing around under him. And Lagorce at the line with half a lap to go, well in front. Of course, the French crowd in the stadium very used to this cycle-style pursuit. Watching the action, they can gauge it nicely. And at the line, Franck Lagorce comfortably takes the first of the runs. And on that showing, unless there's an issue with the car or he makes some fairly fundamental error, you've got to think he is likely to go through into the final. As Nico Prost finds quite a lot more pace. So here we go, starting again from the opposite side of the stadium. So just in case there is an advantage, one end is a little less rutted perhaps. Both drivers in the first 2 heats will each get a chance for what might be, quote, the faster side of the stadium as they get away. And again there in the split screen, you can see Lagorce was already pitching it into his first corner before Nico Prost made a better getaway. On board with Nico, looked as though he was just in front of Lagorce at that first split. That's the first half of that, so maybe he had the easier first half. You can see how rough and rutted it is. The drivers fighting hard inside the car, being rattled around. Look at Lagorce, bounced around all over the place. Half a lap to go. This is tight. Looks as though Nico may just be going to win this one. Going to be very close. Last half lap decides it. No, Lagorce is in front by some margin as well. Nico Prost, the last half lap wasn't as good as it needed to be. Franck Lagorce, like Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, goes through. It's 2-0 to Lagorce in the electric contenders. And it will be he versus Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in the electric versus internal combustion final. So Lagorce on the left, Dubourg on the right. And Who turns in first? Well, Lagorce does very clearly and very aggressively. He has a very attacking style, Franck Lagorce. And at the split, first of the 4 times across the line, he's in front. At the end of the first of the 2 laps, again Lagorce comfortably in front, maybe in this short, sharp run around this oval. The instant torque of the electric car is having an advantage. Again Lagorce, with half a lap to go, still in front. If he can get one in here now, like in a World Cup final, scoring first. Oh! Very tight, very tight. Well, it came down to 0.2 of a second. Franck Lagorce was in front. The gap went from 0.9 after half a lap to half a second after 1 full lap to 0.2 after 3/4 distance. So, tough challenge for Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. 1 down, he now has to win both to take the final. So every single thing now, where they start, what ruts they're in, what grip there is under the tyres, going to be absolutely critical for both these men. We're looking perhaps at thousandths of a second to decide this. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg on the left, Franck Lagorce on the right. Away they go. Dubourg really pushing hard to the first corner. It looked as though he may just have turned in front. Whether Franck Lagorce can hang on here. Dubourg surely just a fraction in front. So 1/4 distance, let's take a look at halfway. Lagorce in front, isn't he? Yes, he's got to be. Now, what about Jean-Baptiste Dubourg? Can he come back in the 3rd half a lap? He has. He's very close, but I think Dubourg had it at the line. Now, Lagorce came back in the 2nd half of lap 1. Will he come back in the 2nd half of lap 2? Right out wide, Dubourg, and Lagorce wins it at the line. Franck Lagorce wins it. 2 straight runs over Jean-Baptiste Dubourg. But he doesn't know. It's too tight. The drivers can't see across the stadium. Now I think he hears on the radio that he's won it. In his delight, he's forgotten to unplug himself from the car. So he jumps out and celebrates. Franck Lagorce, after his racing career, started a stunt driving circus. Used to support World Series by Renault with a whole host of great stunt driving. So this is not unfamiliar territory to him. He certainly hasn't lost his racing edge either, has he? So Franck Lagorce winning the electric thermic challenge for the silent ones, for the electric cars. With his Trophy Andros sponsored machine. How fitting is that? Well, he's been right behind all the development of these electric cars in Trophy Andros right from the start. Well, in fact, we've got 2 seasons in one. You've got the Trophy Andros, and tonight a whole other Trophy Andros. Even if you won the regular trophy, you still want to win the other one, like winning Monaco or winning Le Mans 24 Hours. And tonight with Sébastien Loeb here, it's going to be really special. I'm really happy. I've already seen a few things on this track. I've won twice here in the Stade de France out of 3 trips here. One thing's for sure, if you put the pressure on yourself coming in here, then you're dead. In my career, I've done loads of things, Formula 1, Le Mans, and so you learn to appreciate what you're doing and to give pleasure to the fans. Now we head to the main event, to the Elite Pro Final. There is Franck Lagorce. He's on the front row of the grid in his electric Andros Sport machine, but it's the Plastic Cup electric racer of Aurélien Panis who is on pole position. Behind them, Andrea Dubourg in the Renault and Eddie Benezet in the BMW M2. They're on row 2. On row 3, it's the Audi of Lionel Daziano and the electric motor racer of Nico Prost, who got into the semis in the petrol versus electric showdown. Then Sylvain Poussier, the first of the Peugeots, ahead of Julien Piguet in his Mini Countryman. Now, this is a different format from the usual races here in the Stade de France. There are 6 laps before a driver change. Normally these cars are shared by elite pro drivers and elite drivers in separate races. Here, the drivers who regularly drive the cars will both compete in the same event. So it's not just about the driving, there's also the driver change to contemplate as well. So who's going to come out on top in this mixed affair? And there's no question that Aurélien Panis would love to be able to take victory here. Franck Lagorce likewise. So the grid is complete and away they go. Good starts as ever from the electric racers. That instant torque of the electric powertrain gives them a step or two ahead of their petrol-engined opposition. So it's the bright yellow car, and that is Aurélien Panis ahead of Franck Lagorce in the mean green machine from the Trophy Andros supporting company Andros. Lagorce in the slipstream, running out a little wide, loses ground to Aurélien Panis. Third is the first of the petrol engine cars, and that's Andrea Dubourg in a Renault Captur. His older brother Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, the champion, will be driving that car in the second part of the race. This is fast and furious action. Aurélien Panis, having made the leap away from pole position, now being caught by Franck Lagorce. Lagorce looks the quicker of the pair here. Now, being able to translate speed into getting by in a short oval like this is quite a long work in progress. 4th place, Eddie Benezet in the BMW. In 5th place, Lionel Daziano. We're right behind him with Nico Prost. And again, you can see Prost looks a little quicker than Daziano in the Audi in front of us. And here's the same position. Of course, drifting out a little wide. The wider you go, the longer you make the lap in terms of the meters you have to carry. But you carry more speed as well. And he's looking to get some slingshot effect off the corners to try and find a way alongside the race leader. Here he comes again, he's on the inside, little contact between them, straightens the pair out between the 2 corners. Aurélien Panis possibly saw it coming through the side window, unfazed by that little bit of contact. Panis still the narrow leader. Franck Lagorce almost alongside him around the outside now again. Little undercut, just a bit of an overlap on the inside. Final lap for these guys in their 6-lap encounter. And then there will be the driver change. Aurélien Panis heading to the checkered flag. He will hand over the leading car to his dad. Franck Lagorce will hand over the green machine to Sébastien Loeb. And look at this, Nico Prost piling on the pressure. Lionel Daziano clambers over the wall. I think Prost was ahead in 5th at the line. Pressure paid off. There is Aurélien Panis. His dad saying, I haven't had that much pressure in my life, even in Formula 1. He did a fantastic job, now I've got to finish it off. I'm really happy to share with my dad in this incredible arena. Time for him to do his bit. It's really tricky out there, says Sébastien Loeb. We saw Franck trying everything on Panis. Very difficult to pass here, but he tried everything. So I'm going to have to try and adapt to the track and do my best. Fantastic thing. It's not every day you get a chance to race in the Stade de France. It's a nice show and great to be here fighting. So getting ready for part 2, 4-time champion Jean-Baptiste Dubourg taking over from brother Andrea. He'll start in 3rd. Panis will be on pole from Sébastien Loeb, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg and Dorian Boccolacci, the winner of the elite class in the BMW M2. He's taken over from Eddie Benezet. A few moments of advice from Franck Lagorce for Sébastien Loeb. I think the advice there is, have a lunge. What's the worst that can happen? Of course, wasn't averse to having a lunch. Didn't quite get close enough, though. So for Sebastian Loeb, a good grid position. Big challenge to try and get by Olivier Panis in identical cars, and that are new as well to Sebastian Loeb. So Olivier Panis in the yellow machine. Nico Prost is handed over, by the way, to Andreas Bakkerud. There's a team combination. Bakkerud, rallycross ace, should be used to the short, sharp nature of these events, and also a little bit of bouncing around. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg will be in a Renault Captur. He's taken over from his younger brother. There's Sebastian Loeb. We are gridded up as they finished. Dubourg will be closer to the electric racers than the car was at the line. So let's see how we go. Away we go. Good start. A little bit of fishtailing from Olivier Panis in the yellow plastic up machine, but he turns in front of Sebastian Loeb. Then Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, and already look at Andreas Bakkerud in the Motul machine, all over the back of the BMW, and he's through. Dorian Boccolacci into the wall. That may be the first mistake we've seen from Boccolacci this year. And the pressure is on Sebastian Loeb in second place. Olivier Panis has checked out front. Now he won't be overconfident. He will just have his head down and charging. Sebastian Loeb looking relaxed. There's the bodywork on the back wall from Dorian Boccolacci's car. On board with Olivier Panis. Now don't forget, Olivier has been driving almost all season, but he's been driving an Audi. The electric engined car is very different. There's Bakkerud under pressure from Boccolacci, or Bocca probably, since half the car's gone, maybe half the name should be as well. Dorian Boccolacci in the BMW throwing the machine around, but so is Andreas Bakkerud, rallycross driver, looking in fantastic form. Sebastian Loeb. Now, is he checking the mirrors to see where everybody else is, or looking round the corner to see where the leader is? I think he wanted to know where Jean-Baptiste Dubourg was, and the answer was right behind him. Again, don't forget, for drivers like Sebastian Loeb coming into these electric vehicles, the same is true for Olivier Panis out front. The lack of engine noise really quite disorientating. Lack of bodywork, not disorientating. Dorian Boccolacci. BMW M2 again, not much of it left, so that's more of an M half than an M2. And the leader being caught, Olivier Panis, now caught very quickly indeed by Sebastian Loeb. Has Panis made contact with the walls, or has he just hit some heavy snowbanks? He's been encouraged on from the pit wall. It is Sebastian Loeb fighting for victory. Olivier Panis still leads. Loeb second in the green machine. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in third. The last man to win for Ligier in Formula 1, the last Frenchman still to win a Grand Prix, heads a 9-time World Rally champion and a 5-time Andros champion, and the Panises win it. Sebastian Loeb in second, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in third, and Dorian Boccolacci got fourth away from Andreas Bakkerud on the final lap. But Olivier and Aurélien Panis claim victory in the Stade de France. Well, there is a unique opportunity for the pair. Olivier is pretty much retired from racing. Aurélien not so. He'll be racing in World Touring cars again this season. And Olivier Panis and Aurélien Panis win in the Stade de France. Well, fantastic action. Sebastian Loeb got very close, didn't he? Jean-Baptiste Dubourg even ran into the back of Sebastian Loeb to try and get by, but he couldn't make it through. There's Aurélien Panis in the yellow suit. His dad's out of the car. That's a great father-son opportunity. Olivier, naturally hugely supportive of his son's racing career. In fact, he's been part of the French commentary team for the World Touring cars while his son has been racing, which has been a mixed emotional bag, I can tell you. There's Sebastian Loeb. Well, he did such a good job, I just didn't want to lose it. Seb was so hot, Sebastian Loeb. I thought, I can't make a mistake, because if it happens, it'll be so easy. But he closed in, so I really had to fight. I'm never going to forget this. Winning in the Stade de France with my dad, just incredible. Well, there are the brothers Jean-Baptiste and Andrea Dubourg finishing in third position. That's a unique family double as well. Franck Lagorce and Sébastien Loeb. The runners-up. There's Olivier Panis and son Aurélien. And they claim victory here in the Stade de France at the end of a fantastic 30th birthday party for Trophy Andros. It was a unique take on the final approach here. It's a well thought out little change to the ordinary. Great way to bring in guest drivers and to throw up some unusual combinations. Our drivers all looking pretty happy with themselves. Great entertainment for the crowd, great entertainment for the drivers as well. The day that Olivier and Aurélien Panis will treasure for a long while. They've just been able to compete together, but to win in such a venue, the Stade de France, really a fitting place for the culmination of the 30th anniversary celebrations of Trophy Andros. Trophy Andros will return again in strength next year for the 31st season. We'll see you when the snow falls and the ice freezes in Val Thorens.
We have more to come after the break as we head to Sydney Dragway for the latest instalment of the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars.